Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Wisdom who rule well, who taught all this knowledge in sincerity and truth, and to the brothers around the four corners of the earth. It's Brahmanasha DC Camp, short lesson for the hopeful elect. Yeah, in this last days, Yeah, so you see on the screen, the so-called front runners for these Edomite elites, all right, to bring about their new world order. Yeah, so don't be surprised that, the government is working with these people behind the scenes. Yeah, so that's how hilarious, Esau's plans are, man, to pretend to oppose these corporations, but at the same time they're working with them to further enslave the people upon the face of the earth. All right, so you already know, man. The devil is aware he has a short time, and he has to move with swiftness. All right, he has to move with lightning speed, just like you hear about Operation Warp Speed from the Orange Man. Yep. So you don't get swept away by their by the eloquent words and all that. Okay. So I'm gonna read a precept from the book of John chapter 16 verse 33. This is what the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai told his apostles. Okay, it says, these things have I spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Okay? So the princes of this world, they don't have any power over the elect. And our salvation is nearer than we believe. Okay? That's why we have to hold on. Even we're going to experience the famine of the word. All right? We still have to hold on to our faith. Okay? So that doesn't mean that there's not going to be the word available for those that the Lord has ordained to get it, but it's just that it's not going to be longer preached over the internet because they're going to have to block, the channels online of brothers that preach the gospel. So all you're going to have online basically have these corporations giving out their news and their so-called fake pundits, and that's about it. No other opinions will be allowed online. Yeah, so you should be excited, to see the fall of Babylon. All right, because the scripture talks about whoso diggeth the pit. Let me get that precept real quick. All right, let me pull it up real quick. So this from the book of Proverbs chapter 26 verse 27. It says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it shall return upon him. Yeah, so that judgment that the Lord has set in motion for these folks that are always scheming against the elect, they're gonna reap the judgment, man, that the Lord is going to bring against them, because their end is gonna be terrible. All right, and then book of Sirach chapter 27 verse 26, it says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. And that's all it boils down to. You reap what you sow. Yeah, and it's beautiful, man, that the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is a just power. And these elites, man, their rulership has gone on for so long. And the Lord has already said that their time of getting judged is around the corner, and they are nervous. That's why they have to shut down brothers' channels. They have to deem brothers as terrorists, and have trolls, and have all types of schemes to attack brothers, right? Even the sisters too. So you just have to be willing, to stand on the promise of the Lord and witness the trickery of the devil. All right, they think they're fooling the world, but they don't know that the Lord is just digging their own pit for them. All right, so I'll play this video real quick, man. It shows you how diabolical and desperate they are.
Are we living in a digital dictatorship?
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
If you look back at the colonial times, the big empires of the past were conquering people's land, resources, and even taking humans as slaves. Today's dominant colonialists are tech billionaires, conquering our minds by exploiting knowledge of who you are based on what you share and how you behave on the internet.
We've spent a lot of the last few years building systems that are more sophisticated than any other company has at this point, and frankly, a lot of governments too.
And they are also colonizing the very fabric of life.
Well, Bill Gates is actually continuing the work of Monsanto.
But are we even aware that we're being colonized? It's important to realize that billionaire philanthropists, whether they're George Soros or Bill Gates or whoever, are not the solution to our global problems.
When Bill Gates pours money into Africa for feeding the poor in Africa and preventing famine, what's he doing? He's pushing the failed green revolution, he's pushing chemicals, pushing GMOs, pushing patents.
And when renowned Indian scholar and activist Vandana Shiva talks about patents, it's important to say that one company holds the exclusive rights to gene editing technology, Editus Medicine, backed by Bill Gates and Google Ventures.
Yep, so, Editus Medicine. Yeah, so you just gotta laugh, man, to see how, how much of a fool's errand these elites are embarking on, thinking that they can alter the words of the Lord, they can alter the plans of the Lord. So this is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. It says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be also glad with exceeding joy. All right? So that's what you have to look forward to, man. You have to endure. You have to be willing to stand, for the name of the Lord. All right? And you have to agree, with the promises of the Lord, man. That the Lord sent for the Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, to deliver us from the snares of the enemy. Okay. So the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 26, says For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's and the holy angels. Yeah, so that's what you have to, keep in mind. You want to be found faithful, that you do not give in, to the pleasures of this world, man. Okay, and that's why you have to be willingly, you have to be available to stand to the end. All right, and then verse 27 says, But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of Yahweh. And that's all it is. You have to be willing to stand firm unto the end without giving in to these scare tactics, the so-called doctrine of impending doom that these politicians and their so-called technocrats like to push.
he does is have to run through a computer and do a genomic reading and then take patents. So he's taking patents through gene editing, he's taking patents through digital genomic mapping.
And if you think this is a wild conspiracy theory, you should know that around 20% of the human genome, more than 4,000 genes, are already covered by at least one US patent. That's right. Pharmaceutical companies, scientists, and universities hold patents on many of our genes. This means that you need a license from them to do research on the genes they essentially own, and that corporations decide on who can do research on certain human genes, as well as how much any resulting therapy or diagnostic test will cost.
And you see, they always want to X out the Lord. They want to take ownership of the Lord's work. All right, they want to take ownership of the words of the Lord. They want to take ownership of the earth. They want to take ownership of the universe. She just shows you how much, of a fool these elites are, man, and their peons. And don't be surprised when the Lord, visits them and wreaks havoc upon their legacy. So the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 19 says, nevertheless, the foundation of Yahweh Shai Kwakadash standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his, and let everyone that nameth the name of Hamashiach Yahushai depart from iniquity. Yeah, so when you trust in the Lord, you're not going to go along with this scam that these fraudulent elites are trying to pull. All right. And you're going to hold the words of the Lord dearly, more important, than all the fake promises that these politicians like to push on the airwaves, talking about trillions of dollars for infrastructure development and all this, education this and transportation that and healthcare this and reparations that. Those are just empty words, okay? So final precept will be from the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 33. It says, take heed of a mischievous man, for he walketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blood. And that's what the men of the Lord are warning our people against, not to go along with this scam they keep pushing on the airwaves, in the papers, on the radio, to go along with this this jabcination doctrine, all right?
This is outrageous to us, but it's completely in line with the only things that billionaires understand: power and profits. And to make sure we don't rebel, they mine our personal data.
One young man owns the primary means of communication on planet Earth, unimpeded by law and therefore unimpeded by democracy.
Harvard scholar Shoshana Zuboff is, of course, talking about Harvard dropout Mark Zuckerberg. These billionaire dictators have used their enormous wealth to hijack our democracy. This is a real threat, and you need to wake up.
The problem.
You have to know this has nothing to do with democracy. This is a struggle between the house of Jacob and the house of Esau, all right? House of Israel against the house of Edom. These Edomite elites, man, these so-called white folks, man, they are upset and they're desperate to go to an extent to manipulate, the information that's out there to their own benefit and deceive the whole world. And you read in the book of Revelation, it tells you about the angel that allowed the dragon out of the bottomless pit to go deceive the whole world for a short season. Yeah, that short season is almost up, okay? And the dragon is sad and angry and wrath, so he has to throw a temper tantrum.
The problem is their power. It's the gatekeeping power that allows them to manipulate their users, profit off of data, and squash competition.
I would argue it's time to break these guys up. I think that they have become too powerful and that markets are failing.
Yep. So that's one thing you have to realize, man. The end is near. The end of the dragon is near. All right. The dragon with the 7 heads and 10 horns is going into perdition. So that's the point there, Akim. Hope you've been edified and stand firm. You know, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Shalom.